Well, allegedly, there's going to be something coming soon regarding an aspect of the internet computer. Now, nothing I say is financial advice, and I'll talk about ICP being below $3 later on in the video and my thoughts on that. However, I first want to talk about this real quick because remember in my previous video, I talked about Caffeine AI version 2.0 becoming live, basically, right? And that was pretty cool because it was a fast transition between the launch of Caffeine AI to 2.0. And then now we're already taking a look at version 3. And this is what I want to talk about right here because supposedly version 3 is going to be coming in a couple weeks, which I find pretty impressive. In a couple weeks, we're not talking about months. We're not talking about years, allegedly in a couple weeks. So I find this pretty impressive. And that is even according to Dominic Williams himself. And Dominic, by the way, is the founder of Dfinity. But besides that point, people like to tell me that this is kind of useless, but I don't really think so when it comes to Caffeine AI because even Caffeine AI, they themselves made a post not too long ago saying how all you need is a good idea. That's what they say. And they say how there's no technical background required, which I find pretty impressive because if we take a look at just kind of the concept of Caffeine AI, right? I could just literally type up, for instance, and let's say I'm like, oh, make an app that coordinates my day or something like that. Supposedly, it could be done pretty quickly through Caffeine AI. And by me typing that, do I really need technical knowledge? Well, not really. I mean, what technical knowledge do I need to do that? I just literally commanded it to do that. But even besides that point, I think that's pretty revolutionary in and of itself because it's kind of simplifying the process of literally making apps, in my opinion. As the space grows, there's going to be probably more developers. There's probably going to be more apps that are going to appear. So if that is the case, and let's say Caffeine AI is catering to that, why would that be such a bad thing? I think it's actually pretty cool at the end of the day, but this is my mindset. However, the launch of version 3, I don't think is going to do much to ICP if the sentiment doesn't change. However, I think it's actually pretty interesting considering how the advancement of Dfinity, I feel like, has been pretty impressive thus far, right? A lot of other entities out there, they just really haven't done much as of late, but I feel like when it comes to Dfinity, they're really making those strides, and I do like that when it comes to the internet computer. However, when it comes to, let's say, ICP being below $3, now, this is the question I like to ask myself. ICP, again, it's below $3, but I feel like fundamentally, it's better than ever before in history. This is just my mindset, right? Which I find kind of odd, but it's actually hypothetically, I think, the case because I have to consider chain fusion. We also take a look at the Solana and ICP integration. We take a look at how Bitcoin DeFi is powered by the internet computer. We take a look at the aspects of chain fusion regarding Dogecoin and Ethereum. Not to mention, we take a look at also Caffeine AI in general. Is this really such a bad project in my perspective? I feel like if anything, it's better than it's ever been, ever in history, because I didn't see, the internet computer becoming this sort of, I guess, fundamentally sound back when ICP was around $18. It wasn't bad in terms of fundamentals, of course, back then, but I feel like fundamentally now it's actually improved by quite a lot. So the thing is this, if I feel like the fundamentals are better than ever before, in my opinion, and let's say the price is below $3 when it comes to ICP, why would I give up? I'm not going to do that. I'm still going to be dollar cost averaging because even though I'm going to use an example that has nothing to do with this, I'm just going to use this example real quick. Let's say I like to buy a bike, like, a bicycle. Let's say I like to go mountain biking. If let's say I go inside a store and I see the bike and I'm like, okay, it's cool. It's a Santa Cruz. However, let's say next week I walked inside the store and I saw that the bike had more features, had more gadgets and whatnot, right? Whatever the case may be. But besides that, let's say that is the case, but then there's a discount. I'm like, whoa, so the gadgets and whatnot, the features basically increased, yet there's a discount. So why would I complain? However, if let's say there was less features than before, let's say they removed the wheels or whatever like that for whatever reason, and there's a discount, okay, it kind of makes sense, right? It's like they got rid of some stuff, there's a discount, okay. But if it got better and there's actually a discount, that's not a moment where I would complain. So when it comes to sometimes within this space, I feel like there is a point where a project becomes better, yet the sentiment is not doing good, so then the charts are low. I'm just not going to give up like that personally. But this is my mindset, so I'm still dollar cost averaging once a month, even though I am not telling anyone to do anything. However, if I take a look at it as well, we're currently around 40 times lower than $100. Well, around 41 times, but besides that point. Now, for dollar cost averaging purposes, that's paradise for me right there. Not to exit, of course. To exit, it's definitely not a paradise, but for me, dollar cost averaging, yeah, I feel like it is kind of a somewhat hypothetical paradise in that sense, because the project that I like literally became better fundamentally, yet the charts are low. So I don't know why I'd complain if that is maybe the case, but that is besides the point. When I take a look at myself as of right now, I just still haven't given up, and this is my mindset currently. So that's pretty much about it.